So 90% of the stocks that you see in this portfolio has been selected using a single strategy. So I would be sharing that strategy today, so keep watching. Hi traders, so I know it's been a long time since I have posted any videos, so I'm sorry for that. So as most of you already know that I'm not a full-time trader and I'm busy with some of my other works. So that's why I've taken a break from intraday trading, and that's why I couldn't post any videos. But that doesn't mean I've taken a break from stock market, because as you have already seen in the intro video, I'm into short-term investing from last 2 months. So like for me, short-term investing is something which ranges from 1 to 3 months of duration. Okay, so I buy the stocks and keep it for at least 1 to 3 months based on technical perspective. So these are some of the stocks which have given me the highest returns in the last 1 month. So I would be sharing the strategy that I have used to shortlist these stocks. So that's a very simple strategy. So the strategy would be about anchored VWAP on the weekly time frame. Okay, so as we are into long-term investing, sorry, not long-term, short-term investing ranging from 1 to 3 months, the most important thing that you have to do is you have to get rid of all other time frames except for the daily and just the weekly. Because when you are into short term or medium term or long term investing, if you see the 1 hour or the 4 hour or the let's say 30 minutes time frame chart, you might panic by seeing big red candles. But the benefit of using the daily or the weekly chart is that, like, even if the fall is probably a 4 or 5%, but on the weekly chart that looks very small, right? So we are in a weekly time frame and we'll be selecting the stocks using anchored VWAP on the weekly time frame. Okay, so that is the first point. So I have already made a video on anchored VWAP, so this is the thumbnail of that video. I'll also attach that link here on the top. You can see that video in which I have explained what is an anchored VWAP and how do you put it on the chart. So let me just give you a hint that we can use anchored VWAP from here to this tool here, tool menu here, sorry, this one. You will see anchored VWAP here. I have already shown this in the previous video. You can see that video to know how to put this anchored VWAP. So we have to use this. I already have it on my tools menu so that it always stays like in front of me so that I can use it. So as you have seen the intro video in which you can clearly see that Greaves Cotton has given me the highest gains of around more than 50%, I think, in the last 1 month. So I'll tell you why I selected Greaves Cotton. So I'll just put the charts in front of me. And now what do I want to see in the charts? In the weekly charts, I want to see the price falling and trying to rise and creating U patterns, right? It might be a straight U pattern or it might be like this, a declining U pattern. So I call it the rounding bottom. So these kind of patterns I do trade. So whenever I see these kind of U patterns in the movement of a stock, what I do is I normally select the swing high point, right? So this was the swing high point, right? I call it SH. So swing high from where the price fell down, and from there it tried to go up, and then it has been creating higher highs, right? Higher highs here. So when I see that, what I do, I just put an anchored VWAP on the swing high. Okay, so when you put the anchored VWAP, double click on the anchored VWAP and select the source as high. Okay, then put one more anchored VWAP. Okay, put one more anchored VWAP and select it, and select as HLC by 3, that is high, low and close, the average of high, low and close. So now what I have on my screen is kind of a band. As you can see, it's kind of a band. So I have already explained about this indicator in that particular video. So do watch that video if you're confused how to use anchored VWAP. So once I have this band, what I want to see is that the price, okay, the price is respecting this band as a resistance. So as you can see, the price tried to go through from here, that is once, right? Then again it tried here, that is 2, and then it finally broke out. Okay, so all the stocks that I've selected, almost 90% of the stocks that I've selected is based on the same principle from the swing high. Okay, from the swing high I create a band of anchored VWAP, and I want to see that the band is getting respected. Okay, so there are certain stocks in which these bands won't be respected, so I won't select them. Okay, so I want to see it getting rejected, so that's how I will confirm that yes, this band is really working on the stock. So when did I actually enter in the Greaves cotton? So if you see on my intro video, you can see the Greaves cotton I entered around at 94 levels, right, around at 94. So why did I enter there? So when do I normally enter into these trades? Let me show you. So whenever I see a successful break from the stock and then the price coming back to test, right, this is the test of the VWAP band. So whenever this test is successful and I see a big green candle getting recovered, right, after the bounce, I generally buy there. So that is how I bought at 94. At, I think it's at the end of that week, because this is a weekly candle. I generally see on only Fridays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays, I suppose. So on Friday at the end of the day, I generally see if the weekly candle has broken that particular bearish trend line. So I think at this point I entered, and now it has already reached to 144, the Greaves cotton. Okay, so now next, I think next in my stock list with the highest returns is Happy Minds. It's an IT company, and it gave me around, I think, 40% or 45% returns till now. And let me tell you, because it has just this stock has started trading on 14 September 2020, so we don't have much of the weekly candles. So for these stocks I generally select the daily one, and I create an anchored VWAP, because I did see this U pattern getting formed. Okay, so that's why I created this anchored VWAP bands here, and I waited for the price to break it. So this was the break of this anchored VWAP, and then price retraced back and retested it. So I think I entered somewhere here on seeing this candle, and then from there you have seen the moment, correct? So I'm still in the stock, so probably I'll be closing these trades, Greaves cotton and happiest minds, and that's why I made this video today, because probably in this week or the next week I am planning to close these 2-3 trades, and then I have the third most highest returns in IDFC First Bank. So let's see what happened there. So I'll put it to weekly. Okay, put it to weekly. So now on weekly you can see a clear pattern that I have already explained. So this tried to go through the anchored VWAP band but has failed, but here it was a successful break, and then it came back to retest, and this is the retest success. So see, this is not a holy grail strategy. So there are times when it has failed. So what I generally do is I only take half quantity when I see a green candle bouncing, and I take the other half quantity once the high of that swing high is broken. Okay, so that's what you can also do. So see, this has tried to this has tried to cross this band 3 times, here the 4th time. So this is a very strong band now. So I knew whenever this band will break, it would be a big movement. So that's why I have IDFC First Bank in my portfolio. And then the next highest return was BEML. So let's check what happened there. So this is the swing high of the BEML chart, and this was around September 2017. So that means from September 2017 the price is trying to cross this band but is getting failed. So now finally the BEML has broken and took a bounce. So that's why I took BEML. So I believe it would go to its previous swing high at least, or else at least this around 1600 area. So generally I book my profits at around 30% or 35% profit, and then I keep half of the quantity remain, not half, I think just 25%. I book around 75% of the quantity, around 30-35% gain, and I keep the rest for a 40% or 45% move. Okay, so that's how I do, and I would be making a future video on the risk reward ratio and all those things here. In this video I'll be just explaining you the strategy. So the same strategy, as you can see, repeating again and again. GNFC is the next stock which has given me a great return, and I recently entered here. As you can clearly see, I entered because it has been respecting this particular anchored viewer bands here, and finally it took a break, came down, retested, and it has just rocketed out of that particular band. Then Tata Power is a very long term band, has been broken. As you can see, the band, the price has been trying to clear this band, but finally it did clear the band at this place and then took a bounce here, right? So that's where I entered. I think I entered very late here. I think 94 was my entry. I did miss this Tata Power and I regret that. Let's see next. Zen Star Tech is also in my portfolio. So it was a very late entry for me. I did miss this stock. As you can see, it has been trying to break this anchored view app. So this should be my entry, but I did miss it. So actually, if I did see the stock, I could have entered here, but I took it very late. So that's why I waited for a pullback, and this was a pullback. As you can see in the pullback, what I did, I again put a VWAP band on the big candle and waited for the break. So the moment this big green candle broken out of this particular band, I took an entry in Zen Star Tech. Then the next stock, as you can see, was JK Lakshmi. And why did I enter there? So same pattern, 1 2 3 4, and this was the break and it took a bounce. So you could have either entered here or here. Okay, so generally the best way to keep your stop loss would be to keep it below the candle of the bounce. So this is the bounce candle, so I would keep my stop loss below this. Okay, I would keep my stop loss below this, and I'll take a 1:3. That means, let's say if your risk is 10%, okay, if your risk is 10%, so I would wait for 30% to book my gains, right? So book my profit. So 10:30%, that is 1:3 ratio. Same for Dalmia Sugar as well. I recently entered in Dalmia Sugar. Let's see why. This is the swing high. From there the band has been made, 1 2 3. This was the break, and then there has been a small range which formed, and I entered somewhere here. I suppose I entered very late, seeing this candle. So I totally missed this rally from this point to this point, but still I am in this trade and I am expecting the price to go to 200 once. So I'll be exiting somewhere there. I probably have to wait for 2 or 3 months more. Let's see. Then the next is Nippon Nam India. I think I took this trade seeing this candle. I believe this was the bounce candle, so I entered somewhere here, and I think this week it gave a good breakout, but now it is again going down. So I'll still wait. My stop loss would be somewhere around this would be a very big stop loss for me, so I would keep it somewhere in 295, right? So a weekly close. So if you're taking a stop loss, you have to be sure that you wait for the week close, right? Because sometimes what might happen is probably in the Wednesday and Thursday the price would come down, but by Friday it would again go back, creating this kind of wick. So you have to wait for a Friday close to get out of a stock if the stop loss is hit. Then Inox Leisure, same pattern. This is the swing high here. Once it tried, twice, thrice, fourth times it tried, and then this was the breakout, and it has been retracing. This is the bounce, I believe, and here it has tried to exit. So probably I think Inox is going for 480 and 520 in the coming months, and my stop loss is secure here. I would keep a stop loss at 280 or probably 290. I think 290 would be my stop loss. If a weekly candle closes below 290 or 285, I would get out of the stock. Okay, so RBL Bank, let's see RBL Bank, same strategy. This was a very big swing from here. Top one try, this is a 2 3 try, 4 try, and then finally it has come up. So I have just taken half quantity now. I haven't totally entered here. I have just taken a half quantity. I believe RBL Bank would give a bounce and it would go for around 400 price, around 400. I think it should go in the next 2 or 3 months if we have a successful breakout. Okay, if we have a successful breakout from here, probably we are going for 400 at first, and then probably we need some retracement to go out more. Okay, and let's talk about Delta Corp. Delta Corp also I have recently entered. So here it is a different strategy. Like there is one more strategy that I sometimes follow. This is the bigger band. Okay, so I believe the price generally goes back to retest those bands, and this is a secondary band which it has respected. So I entered because the price did cross this band and I took a bounce. So I believe it is going to retest the 200 area, 201. So I took this trade for a small duration, probably till 200. I will close the deal because it might get rejected and come back once. So that's why I'm dealing, I'm looking for 200 range. Okay, so this was a strategy that I wanted to share with you. If you have any more doubts regarding this strategy, do let me know in my WhatsApp number. I've already shared my WhatsApp number here. You can just WhatsApp me and I'll help you out. So I think this strategy was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching. Keep learning, keep trading. Bye bye.